Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for joining this morning session. Thank you, Nandkumar Prabhu, Pavan Prabhu, Ritesh Prabhu, Vishwanath Prabhu for leading the chanting this morning. We can get started with our morning prayers and then we will read from the Krishna book. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। We'll continue with our Guru Ashtakam by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Uh, would anybody like to sing today of the people who are on call? If not, I can sing. संसार दावा नललीडलोका त्राणाय कारुण्य घनघनोत्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं महाप्रभो कीर्तन नित्य गीता वादृत्य माद्यान् मनसोरसेन रोमाञ्चकं पाश्रुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यनाना शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमार्जनार्दौ युक्तस्य भक्तं च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसाद स्वादनतृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्घान् कृतैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayara Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Nam
No.
Pratikshanashvadhanalupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunjayo
Eti
no
kisilabone.
Nikunjayo no ratikeli seddhai
Eti
Yayali
nambrahave.
yuktirapekshaniya
Vedana.
Tatratidakyat ativallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Sakshat Haritvaina Samasta Shastre Uktastatha Bhavyateva Shabde किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्स्तोऽं तस्य यशस्त्रिशन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीमद्गुरोराष्टकमेधोच्चैर् ब्राह्मे मुहूर्ते पठति प्रयात्नात् यस्तेन वृन्दावननाथ साक्षात् सेवैवलाभ्या जनुषन्त एव हरे संसारदावानल्लीडलोका त्राणाय कारुण्यघनघनत्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणनवत्स्या वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to read the translations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I have the pleasure of reading that, please?
Please, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Go ahead, Tesh
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. Just as a cloud pours water on a forest fire to extinguish it, so the spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master, who is an ocean of auspicious qualities, chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, singing and playing musical instruments. The spiritual master is always gladdened by the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he is relishing the mallows of pure devotion within his mind, sometimes his hair stands on end. He feels quivering in his body, and flow from his eyes like waves. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. The spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Sri Radha and Krishna. He also engages his disciples in such worship. They dress the deities in beautiful clothes and ornaments, clean their temple, and perform other similar worship of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. The spiritual master is always offering Krishna four kind of delicious food, analyzed as that which is licked, chewed, drunk, and sucked. When the spiritual master sees the devotees are satisfied by eating Bhagavad Prasad, he is satisfied. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. The spiritual master is always eager to hear and chant about the unlimited conjugal pastimes of Radhika and Madhav and their qualities, names, and forms. The spiritual master aspires to relish these at every moment. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. The spiritual master is very dear because he is expert in assisting the gopis who at different times make different tasteful arrangements for the perfection of Radha and Krishna's conjugal loving affairs within the groves of Vrindavan. I offer my most humble obeisances into the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. The spiritual master is to be honored as such as the Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari Krishna. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. One who, with great care and alteration, loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during the Brahma Muhurat obtains direct service to the Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan, at the time of his death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for reading. Would you like to comment, share, or reflect on any one of the verses or anything different related to this prayer?
Prabhuji, all glories to Prabhupada ji. And the whole prayer about like putting the honest obeisances on the lotus feet of the spiritual master is so true. We at this time are always affected with the material world, material affections, and so many things. By following the footpath of such a spiritual master, we get to know how great the spiritual master and other devotees are, so that we can keep doing the same thing no matter how many times we do it. 3 times is not enough, I will say. Every moment, then when we drink or when we drink water or whenever we are offering something, by following all that and showing the obeisance to the spiritual master, we are also showing an offering obeisance to the Lord Krishna. And the whole thing, which is so humble, where the masters are doing so many services and we are just trying to follow the footsteps of them, is kind of very, very purifying. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for reading. Yeah, like you said, we should do services. This we can see that in the third verse, it says that the spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Sri Radha Krishna. And not only he is engaged, he also engages his disciples in such worship. And they can do direct services to the Lord, like dress the deities, but they can do indirect service to the Lord as well, like cleaning their temple and performing the worship and serving the devotees. Serving the devotees is as good as serving the Lord directly, if not better. The Lord is really happy when we serve the devotees. So serving the devotees is a very big spiritual service that we can do to the spiritual master. And it is always said that if the spiritual master is happy, then Krishna would be happy, because the spiritual master is the representative of the Lord. And as much as the Supreme Lord, we should honor the spiritual master. And if the spiritual master is not physically in the world, or somehow we are physically away from the spiritual master, we can serve the spiritual master by following his instructions. And that's what Prabhupada always said, that he was never separated from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he always followed his instructions and he always remembered his spiritual master. So he was never, although physically he met him only a few times, but he was always remembering him. So Prabhupada used to say that he was never separated from his spiritual master. So thank you so much for reading and sharing your reflections. I understand we are on chapter 31, Songs by Gopi, and I was told that we have to start reading from here. Dear Krishna, you're the killer of all fears of inhabitants. Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhuji, the paragraph below this paragraph, Dear Krishna, actually
Dear
we have.
Krishna. Okay, wonderful. I can share the screen as well. Would anybody like to read? I'll share this link also in the chat here if you would like to use your device. Or I'm gonna make this screen bigger so that it is visible. I know some people join through the cell phone, and the screen could be quite smaller on the cell phone. So I'll start from here, right? Oh, this one, Dear Krishna. Is that better? Okay. Would anyone like to read today?
Prabhuji, I can leave if anybody,
Yes.
unless anybody else wants to.
Arti Mataji, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dear Krishna, actually we have become very lusty having been touched by your lotus feet. Your lotus feet certainly kill all kind of sinful activities of devotees who have taken shelter there. You are so kind that even the ordinary animals take shelter under your lotus feet. Your lotus feet are also the residence of the goddess of fortune, yet you dance on the heads of Kalia serpent with them. Now we are requesting you to kindly place your lotus feet on our breast and pacify our lusty desire to touch you. O Lord, your attractive eyes, like the lotus, are so nice and pleasing. Your sweet words are so fascinating that they please even the greatest scholars, who also become attracted to you. We are also attracted by your speaking and by the beauty of your face and eyes. Please, therefore, satisfy us by your nectarian kisses. Dear Lord, words spoken by you or words describing your activities are full of nectar, and simply by speaking or hearing your words, one can be saved from the blazing fire of material existence. Great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are always engaged in chanting the glories of your words. They do so to eradicate the sinful activities of all living entities in the material world. If one simply tries to hear your transcendental words, he can very quickly be elevated to the platform of pious activities. For the Vaishnavas, your words give transcendental pleasure, and saintly persons who are engaged in distributing your transcendental message all over the world are first class charitable persons. This was confirmed by Rupa Goswami when he addressed Lord Chaitanya as the most munificent incarnation because he distributed the words of Krishna and love of Krishna free of charge all over the world. Dear Krishna, the gopis continued, you are very cunning. You can imagine how much we are distressed simply by remembering your cunning smile, your pleasing glance, your walking with us in the forest of Vrindavan, and your auspicious meditation, your talks with us in lonely places were heartwarming. Now we are all aggrieved to remember your behavior. Please save us, dear Krishna. Certainly, you know how much we are saddened when you go out of Vrindavan village to tend the cows in the forest. How we are afflicted simply to think that your soft lotus feet are being pricked by the dry grass and the tiny stones in the forest. We are so attached to you that we always think simply of your lotus feet. O Krishna, when you return from the pasturing ground with the animals, we see your face covered by your curly hair and dusted by the hoof dust of the cows. We see your madly smiling face, and our desire to enjoy you increases. Oh dear Krishna, you are the supreme lover and you always give shelter to surrendered souls. You fulfill everyone's desire. Your lotus feet are worshipped even by Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe. And whoever worships your lotus feet, you without a doubt always bestow your benedictions. So kindly be pleased with us and keep your lotus feet on our breasts and thus relieve our present distresses. Dear Krishna, we are seeking your kisses, which you offer even to your flute. The vibration of your flute enchants the whole world and our hearts also. Kindly, therefore, return and kiss us with your mouth of nectar. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 31st chapter of Krishna. Songs by Gopis. Chapter 32 Krishna returns to the Gopis. When Lord Krishna finally reappeared among the assembled gopis, he looked very beautiful, just befitting a person with all kinds of opulences. In the Brahm Samhita, it is stated, Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavitva. Pratibhavitva. Did I pronounce it right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, 100%.
Thank you. Krishna alone is not particularly beautiful, but when his energy, especially his pleasure energy represented by Radharani, expands, he looked very magnificent. The Mayavad conception of perfection and absolute truth without potency is due to insufficient knowledge. Actually, outside the exhibition of his different potencies, the absolute truth is not complete. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa means that his body is a transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge. Krishna is always surrounded by different potencies and therefore he is perfect and beautiful. We understand from the Brahm Samhita and Skanda Puran that Krishna is always surrounded by many thousands of goddesses of fortune. The gopis are all goddesses of fortune, and Krishna took them hand in hand in the bank of Yamuna. It is said in the Skanda Puran that out of many thousands of gopis, 16,000 are prominent. Out of those 16,000 gopis, 108 are especially prominent. Out of these 108 gopis, 8 are still more prominent. Out of those 8 gopis, Radharani and Chandravali are even more prominent. And out of these 2 gopis, Radharani is the most prominent. When Krishna entered the forest on the bank of the river Yamuna, the moonlight dissipated the surrounding darkness. Due to the season, flowers like the Kunda and Kadamba were blooming, and a gentle breeze was carrying their aroma. Due to aroma, the bees were also flying in the breeze, thinking that the aroma was honey. The gopis made a seat for Krishna by leveling the soft sand and placing cloth over it. The gopis who were gathered there had almost all been followers of the Vedas. In the previous verse, during Lord Ramchandra's advent, they had been Vedic scholars who desired the association of Lord Ramchandra and conjugal love. Ramchandra had given them the benediction that they would be present for the advent of Lord Krishna and he would fulfill their desires. During Krishna's advent, the Vedic scholars took birth in the shape of the gopis in Vrindavan as young gopis. They got association of Krishna and fulfillment of their previous birth's desire. The ultimate goal of their perfect desire was attained, and they were so joyous that they had nothing further to desire. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. If one attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he has no desire for anything. When the gopis had Krishna in their company, not only all their grief, but their lamenting in the absence of Krishna was relieved. They felt they had no desire to be fulfilled. Fully satisfied in the company of Krishna, they spread their clothes on the ground. These garments were full of fine linen and smeared with the red kumkum which decorated their breasts. With great care, they spread a sitting place for Krishna. Krishna was their life and soul, and they created a very comfortable seat for him. Sitting on the seat amongst the gopis, Krishna became more beautiful. Great yogis like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, or Lord Shesha and others always try to fix their attention upon Krishna in their hearts. But here the gopis actually saw Krishna seated before them on their cloth. In the society of the gopis, Krishna looked very beautiful. They were the most beautiful damsels within the 3 worlds and they assembled together around Krishna. Krishna seated himself beside each of the many gopis, and it may be asked herein how he did this. There is a significant word in this verse, Ishvara. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishwar Sarvabhutanam. Ishwar refers to the Supreme Lord as a super soul seated in everyone's heart. Krishna also manifested this potency of expansion as Paramatma in this gathering with the gopis. Krishna was sitting by the side of each gopi, unseen by the others. Krishna was so kind to the gopis that instead of sitting in their hearts to be appreciated in the yogic meditation, he seated himself by their sides. By sitting himself outside, he showed special favor to the gopis, who were the selected beauties of all creation. Having gotten their most beloved Lord, the gopis began to please him by moving their eyebrows and smiling, and also by suppressing their anger. Some of them took his lotus feet in their laps and massaged them, and while smiling, they confidently expressed their suppressed anger and said, "Dear Krishna, we are ordinary women of Vrindavan, and we do not know much about Vedic knowledge, what is right and what is wrong. We therefore put a question to you, and since you are very learned, you can answer it properly. In dealings between lovers, we find that there are three classes of men. One class simply receive, another class reciprocates favorably, even if the lover is very contrary, and the third class neither act contrary nor answers favorably in dealing of love. So, out of these three classes, which do you prefer, or which do you call honest? In answer, Krishna said, "My dear friends, person who simply reciprocates the loving dealings of the other party are just like merchants. They give in loving affairs as much as they get from the other party. Parti- Practically, there is no question of love. It is simply self-interested or self-centered business dealings. Even those who even those without a tinge of loving affair are better than these merchants, better than the first class of second class better than the first class is the second class of men who love in spite of the opposite party's contrariness. Such sincere love can be seen when the father and mother love their children in spite of their children's neglect. The third class neither reciprocate nor neglect. They can be further divided into two classes. One comprises the self satisfied who do not require anyone's love. They are called At- Atmarama, which means they are absorbed in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and so do not care whether one loves them or not. But another class comprises ungrateful men. They are called callous. The men in this group revolt against superior persons. For instance, a son, in spite of receiving all kinds of things from loving parents, may be callous and do not reciprocate. Those in this class are generally known as Guru Druha, which means they received favors from the parents or spiritual masters and yet neglect them.
Mhm.
Krish, yes, Prabhuji?
Mataji, yeah, we can continue for one more minute.
Ji Prabhuji. Krishna indirectly answered the questions of the gopis, even those questions which implied that Krishna did not properly reciprocate their dealings. In answer, Krishna said that he, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is self satisfied. He does not require anyone's love. But at the same time, he said that he is not ungrateful. My dear friends, Krishna continued, you might be aggrieved by my words and acts, but you must know that sometimes I do not reciprocate my devotees dealing with me. My devotees are very much attached to me, but sometimes I do not reciprocate their feelings properly in order to increase their love for me more and more. If I can very easily be approached by them, they might think Krishna is so easily available, so sometimes I do not respond. If a person has no money but after some time accumulates some wealth and then loses it, he will think of the lost property 24 hours a day. Similarly, in order to increase the love of my devotees, sometimes I appear to be lost to them. And instead of forgetting me, they feel their loving sentiments for me increase. My dear friends, do not think for a moment that I have been dealing with you as I do with ordinary devotees. I know what you are. You have forsaken all kinds of social and religious obligations. You have given up all connections with your parents. Without caring for social convention and religious obligation, you have come to me and loved me, and I am so much obliged to you that I cannot treat you as ordinary devotees. Do not think that I was away from you. I was near to you. I was simply seeing how much you were anxious for me in my absence. So please do not try to find fault with me because you considered me so dear to you. Kindly excuse me if I have done anything wrong. I cannot repay your continuous love for me, even throughout the lifetime of the demigods in the heavenly planets. It is impossible to repay you or show enough gratitude for your love. Therefore, please be satisfied by your own pious activities. You have displayed exemplary attraction for me, overcoming the greatest difficulty arising from the family connections. Please be satisfied with your highly exemplary character, for it is not possible for me to repay my debt to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Appreciate your reading. Um, would you like to share, reflect on today's reading?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Ji, Prabhuji, how beautifully Prabhupada ji has explained that Krishna never forgets his devotees. Like, although Krishna disappeared for some time, but when gopis sang the song um, in in grief, in separation, Krishna came back. So because of their intense love and devotion, and this teaches that Krishna's mercy, that this teaches that if we sincerely if our devotion is sincere towards Krishna will definitely show mercy. Oh, yes. And then also when Krishna disappeared, gopis were continuously remembering Krishna. Like Prabhupada ji always say that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So during Krishna's absence, the gopis were constantly thinking of Krishna. So Krishna had to reciprocate when his devotees are surrendered to him and call him with love. Uh, you can add more, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. You explained it so nicely. What Krishna has explained here, there are three types of people that do exchange of their love, and he puts actually, Prabhupada so nicely explains that he puts Krishna as Atmarama, but higher than Krishna, he puts gopis who love Krishna unconditionally. And this has been explained in so many um, scriptures that that because Krishna comes under control of the devotees of Krishna have always a higher position. Um, so even better than serving Krishna is serving Krishna's devotees. And what I feel many times we take for granted is the association of devotees that is so easily available to us by Prabhupada's mercy, that we meet devotees, pretty much every day we associate with them, but somehow we take it for granted. But we really have to cherish the association of devotees, because devotees help us remember Krishna. Even exalted devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj, who had direct association of Krishna, When Krishna asked them, "What do you want?" all they wanted was association of devotees. So thank you so much for reading so nicely with so much of love. Really appreciate that. Um, would anybody else on the call like to add something from today's reading? Anything that comes to your mind or activities, or you want to share any reflections or any thoughts, something that stood out from today's reading? If not, we can close the call here. Let's offer a respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desired trees, who fulfill the desire of the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.
Ananda
Ananta Koti
Vaishnava
Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Have a
Krishna.
wonderful day.
Thank you, Dandavat.
Thank
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pavan Prabhu.